In week 3 of our study of the prophets, we're in the Parade of Nations from Amos 1:3 through 2:3. Israel knew what it was to have nationalistic pride. I mean, it had an amazing city. Temple worship was up. People were just making money. We know what this is like. We live in a prosperous nation with a lot of pride. I mean, we are the people who put "In God We Trust" on our money. Israel was a nation of God, but it was surrounded by its enemies. From Gaza Strip over in the west, over to Ammon on the east, to Moab and Edom. They were just surrounded by people that constantly were in battles against them, in battles with them. In the face of fear, well, we understand what it means to have the face of fear. I don't know what it means to you, if it's a world leader, a terrorist, if it's a person who just mouths off all the time against us. What do we do with all that? How do we feel about that? What countries are filled with oppression? What countries do you think of as being countries of corruption? Which nations do you think of as being dishonest, the people that are not forthright with others? And do we have to think of ourselves when we think of these? In the opening of Amos, one by one, God sends a message to all the different enemies of Israel through Amos about the condemnation for their sins. And as they do this, you can just hear the crowds in Israel roar in excitement over the condemnation of their enemies. I mean, after all, what do we enjoy more than seeing our enemies, the evil nations around us, the ones that we don't trust, getting their just desserts? I mean, isn't that what we look forward to sometimes? But what if you're the problem? What if God says, if you look at all your nations and all the sins of the people there, you have met the enemy and you are the enemy. You're the one that is living in a manner that displeases me most. This week we're going to kind of open up this topic because I think it is very pertinent to our nation. We're not the nation of God. We're not the people of God. The kingdom, the church is the people of God. But so many people in our nation and other nations really put their pride and their hope and their joy in their nation that they live in rather than the kingdom that God bought for them to become part of. I hope you'll be at Northwest on Sunday. I hope that you'll study Amos chapter 1:3 through 2:3. And we're going to have a lot of fun learning and discussing and thinking about what it means to be members of the kingdom of God.